Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube segment. I'm going to be giving you my 2022 Week 12 NFL picks and analysis. Now, the first game I'm going to talk about is the Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions. Now, glancing at this, it looks like it could be a shoo-in for Buffalo. I am going to pick Buffalo to win this one, but I think it's going to be actually a highly contested game. Detroit has won, three consecutive games. They have their swagger. Buffalo has looked, a little bit, maybe a little complacent in the last few weeks. They have to realize, they gotta, go in these games, and they still gotta really play hard because teams are going to be gunning for them. This was like a favorite really to come out of the AFC, when the season started, and they still may be at least perceived as a favorite along with the Chiefs. But um, Buffalo does have the number two scoring offense, and I think in this particular game, it may start, like a trend for Buffalo where they actually, they're not going to take, I want to say take teams lightly, maybe, or they're going to go in, understanding more that every game could actually be pretty tough for them no matter who they're actually playing, and they're going to have to go in, put that work in, and get the job done, and I think they'll do just that. So I'm going to take Buffalo to win this one in a close battle. Now, the next game, New York Giants at Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm going to take Dallas to win this one. And the Giants seem like they're trending in the wrong direction. They've lost their last two games. Dallas right now is playing one of the better. They're really, they're showing, playing well on both sides of the ball, annihilating Minnesota last week. I mean, they picked really a good game to play, pretty much their best game this season. The Cowboys keep playing like that. They definitely, can be considered Super Bowl contenders. They may be seen as that already. Jerry Jones seems to think, they are anyway right now. But you have to remember that it's just one game, and the Giants may not be a pushover in this one. It is a divisional game. But the Giants are on the road, and Dallas is playing better than the Giants are at this point in time. Dallas should have beaten Green Bay a couple of weeks ago, but it just didn't get done. But they will get this. I do believe they will win this game. I think it's going to be fairly decisive. It may not be a blowout. I could see Dallas winning by like 14 points in this one. I'm going to take the Cowboys to win. Now, next game, we have the New England Patriots at the Minnesota Vikings. Now, both these defenses, both the offenses weren't exactly stellar last week, except New England did get the win. Minnesota lost their game, of course. They were blown out by Dallas. I think in this particular game, New England's defense will keep it close. They have one of the better defenses in the NFL. But Minnesota, I don't see them winning, consecutive games at home. This one's going to be nationally televised. I think Kirk Cousins rebounds after last week getting only 3 points in that game. I think the Vikings only scored 3 in that one. I just don't see this happening to consecutive weeks. So I'm going to take the Vikings to rebound and get this victory. Now, the next game. I'm going to take Tampa Bay at Cleveland. I'm going to take Tampa Bay to win this one. Tampa Bay seems to be going in the right direction. And Cleveland Browns, I'm not really sure, what's going on with them at this point in time. The Buccaneers, are still, they're trying to get a division title. The Buccaneers may not be as dominant as they had been in other recent seasons, but they're still good enough to win this division. And I see them as good enough to get, this W. I'm looking at Cleveland, they're just a team, right now. I don't really see them, they're not going. I don't think it's safe to say they're not going to make the, the postseason. And they are at home, so they may make it tough on the Buccaneers. It may actually be competitive, but I'm still going to take the Buccaneers to win this one on the road. Now, The next game, the Cincinnati Bengals at the Tennessee Titans. Well, this game is like one of those classic toss-ups, like they talk about on Pardon the Interruption on ESPN. I'm going to take Tennessee to get this one, just to barely get this done at home. They'll be seeking retribution after losing to Cincy last season in the playoffs. Cincinnati is good, but they may not be as good as they were last season. You look at Tennessee with the running game with Derrick Henry. I think that's going to make a huge difference. But the Cincinnati Bengals, they do have very good scoring ability, and the Tennessee has to be careful that their defense, the passing game is not exploited in this particular matchup. But I think Tennessee, I am going to pick Tennessee to get this one done in a close battle. Now the next game, the Houston Texans are going to be playing at Miami. Well, don't really have to ponder too much on this particular game. I'll take the Miami Dolphins to get this one done at home. They have really, Miami has played, of course, very well this season with Tua there. And, they got their receivers with Waddle and Tyreek Hill. I don't know if the Houston, cornerbacks and defenders are going to be able to counter what Miami is going to be doing. The thing about this is they're definitely, when you look at Houston right now, they think they just have one victory, and the coach even said he's trying to find some answers for the Houston Texans. I don't know if they're going to find any, which is going to be enough for them to emerge victorious in this one. But they will, and I see Miami, getting this job done. It shouldn't be that hard of a game for them. And, Miami, I think, wins this one decisively. Now, the next game, the Chicago Bears at the New York Jets. Well, the Jets are, a team right now with the quarterback, quarterback controversy, maybe. Benching Zach Wilson. I think Mike White is the name of the one that's going to be replacing him. I think they should have actually gone with Joe Flacco, in virtue of his experience, but that's not what's going to happen now. The Bears, even though their record, might not be great, they still, they've been competitive. I could actually see them going in there and getting this win over the Jets, but I am going to take the Jets to just barely get this done. And I'm hopefully that the quarterback for the Jets will be able to do something positive in this particular game. The Jets, their last game against New England they played last week, they only managed 2 yards of offense in the second half. So you figure it's going to have to be better in this one. And I believe it will be enough to get the job done. I expect the Jets to primarily run this ball in this game and be able to win this game through their running attack. So I'm going to take the Jets to win. Now the next game. Well, next game we got Atlanta at Washington. And, right now, this game could be, I could see this being very competitive. But I'm going to take the Commanders to get this done. The Commanders have looked very impressive. Really good over the last 5 weeks or so. They won 4 of their last 5 games. They've been on a little bit of a run. The Falcons, kind of mercurial team, and we're not really sure who we're going to get one week to the next. Washington is at home, and for the just basically on how they're playing now, the fact they are at home, I do believe they will, they can get the W in this particular matchup. So I'm going to take Washington to get this W. Now, the next game, this is another one of those classic toss-ups. Denver is going to be going to Carolina. And either one of these teams, are juggernauts, of course, right now. Denver, the Broncos haven't really even met expectations. Russell Wilson has not, been that, that passer, that quarterback that they really expected him to be. Carolina, They obviously have not played tremendously well this season. I think looking at this game with Denver and being able, um, Denver's being on the road, Carolina at home. The really only main reason I would take Carolina to get this done is really just the fact they're home, because I don't really, for me, neither one of these teams, are really, they're neither one is a dominant team, and this game could go either way. But I will take Carolina just to barely get this one done at home. Now the next game, we've got the Ravens against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're on the road against Jacksonville. Um, I'm going to take the Ravens to win this one. They're 7-3 right now, and the Ravens, the way they're playing very well. Um, they're a team, right now that I think that can hang with just about anybody. Jacksonville, has shown some improvement, this season. They might not have, the best record, but they're definitely, their coach Peterson is definitely getting them on the right track. I think they'll make this a tight battle. But Baltimore and Lamar Jackson and his legs, I think it's going to be enough to get the job done, to get the victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I'm going to take and Baltimore is looking for a playoff position and a division title, and they really have a lot to play for in this particular game. I mean, the AFC South is likely going to go to the Titans. I don't think anybody's really going to get them at this point. I think with Baltimore, based on the motivational factor and the fact that they're just the better team right now. We'll see if the ravenous defense comes up, and it should come up for this game. So I'll take Baltimore to win. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, now the next game. I'm going to take the Los Angeles Chargers. They're going to be at Arizona. I'm going to take the Chargers to win this one on the road. Arizona is just like 1-5 at home right now, and the status of Kyler Murray is questionable at this point. Arizona just looks like a team. I don't know if there's some turmoil, there's some issues with Kyler Murray and the coach, but this does not even remotely resemble who they were last season. It seemed like something's happened with Arizona when you go back to the end of last season and now this season. It's just not the same, team, and there's something that's just not right with them right now. And the Chargers, I understand they lost last week to Kansas City. That was a very competitive game. The Chargers are right now competitive anyway, and they're still going to be vying for a playoff spot at this point. I do believe the Chargers will win, so I'm going to take the Chargers on the road to get this done. Now, the next game. Well, the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be going to Seattle. I want to take Seattle to win this one. Seattle has vastly improved this season. They've definitely superseded expectations. They're a team that surprised some people. They could actually win the NFC West this season. I do believe that's going to go to the 49ers. But the Seattle Seahawks do have an opportunity, and I do believe they can actually make the playoffs, and this will get them, a little bit closer to doing that. Being at home, I do like them to get this done. The Las Vegas Raiders have underperformed. They are not playing well at all. I don't really see them, going in this game, and at this point mustering up, the ability to get this W. It just doesn't seem, conceivable at this time. So I'm going to take the Seahawks to win this game. Now the next game. Well, Los Angeles Rams are going to be going to Kansas City. Now, if you told me, about this game, at the beginning of the season, before it started, I could say it's a toss-up. But right now, based on how the teams are playing, the Chiefs are playing much better than the Rams. Rams look like they're in a little free fall. Kansas City is starting to hit their stride and groove right at the right time right now. They defeated the Chargers last week. They're currently 8-2. They boast the best record in the AFC. And right now, they got the best scoring offense as well. And Travis Kelce is going to be tough for almost anybody to deal with. And for right now, I would say, the Rams, I don't know if their defense is going to have an answer for Travis Kelce and really the scampering ability of Patrick Mahomes. And I don't know what's going on with Matthew Stafford, if there's something with his thumb, or if he's, how he's actually going to be in this game, assuming he plays. So I'm going to take the Chiefs to get this done at home. Now the next game. Well, next game I'm going to take the 49ers at home against the New Orleans Saints. The 49ers right now are a dangerous team. I think that they can really be a threat, and assuming they make the playoffs, they could go deep. I could see them going to the NFC title game. Actually, the acquisition of Christian McCaffrey has obviously helped them immensely, and this is going to be a team to be reckoned with. They blew out their last opponent last week, and they're a team that's very balanced on the offensive end and the defensive end. They're very efficient offensively, and they have, again, Mr. Versatility with Christian McCaffrey, and that always is going to help your offense. And the defense, right now for the 49ers, I mean, they are right up there. 49ers right now, number one total defense, and I think like number 4 scoring defense. So it's going to be tough for anybody, to go, especially go into San Francisco and get this W. Any team, period, is going to have a hard time beating the 49ers, especially on their own home turf. So I'm going to, and the Saints right now, I'm not really sure, if this is not a team, a playoff team. I mean, some people did pick them to go to the postseason this season, and it wasn't. And I just don't think it's really going to materialize. But I'm going to take the 49ers at home. Now the next game, got the Green Bay Packers, on the road going to Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia needs to be careful in this game because Green Bay, right now they might be pretty much playing for their possible playoff lives. They already got, I think, 7 losses. So Green Bay would pretty much have to win out, I think, to even have a chance to get to the postseason. The Eagles only have 1 loss right now. They're playing, I mean, the last 2 weeks, they haven't looked like the typical Eagles. Last week, they just barely got by the Colts, and then the week before that they lost to the Washington Commanders. But I do think they're going to be good enough to get this one done at home. This is going to be a Sunday night game, primetime game. Green Bay, I think, is going to make it tough because they are going, they are playing, really for their season, I think, at this point. I mean, they pretty much, again, got to win, every game the rest of the way to really have any hope of making the postseason. I don't think they're going to get this W. I don't know. Something with the Packers offense is just, not the same ever since Devontae Adams left. Some of the blame could go to Aaron Rodgers as well. I mean, I don't know if his skills are really deteriorating that much, but they may be declining a little bit. I'm going to take the Eagles to get this one done at home. Now, last but not least, I'm going to take in this one, I'm going to take Indianapolis at home to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, this could go either way. Pittsburgh, is somewhat competitive. They're just not, I mean, they haven't been as good as they've been in recent seasons, of course. The post-Ben Roethlisberger era, it's not going to be really going according to plan, I don't think. But when you look at, the Colts, they got a new coach, as many of you may know, with Jeff Saturday, who is, now has got to play on, Jeff Saturday will be playing on, I guess in this game on Monday night. And the thing is, he's 1-1 as a coach. Last week, the game could have gone either way. And then the week before that, they did win. This game, being at home, Pittsburgh is not really, exactly world beaters. I will take Indy. That's mainly on the virtue of them being at home, and I will take them to win this one in a close battle. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment. And until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.